We're coming close to the end of our conversation about purpose. So can you share with our listeners that one or two takeaways that you'd like to impart?
In regards to purpose, like just in general?
In purpose or in general, because it's all attached to your purpose.
Yeah, I would say like, one thing for sure is like I said, the moment you feel that you're doing something that's greatly impacting others in a great way, but also something that you love to do and, that's making you happy, find a way to replicate that. Find a way to replicate, your idea of purpose through others, right? And, pushing others to continue to, find their purpose, right? So that we can all greatly impact others around us, right? And it creates like a really solid, large kind of like umbrella of multiple people starting to help other people and other things through purpose. So I mean, like that's definitely one thing I definitely would say is once, like I said, once you find something that's making you happy, that you're doing, that's making others happy, run with it. And then the other thing I would say is kind of like on the other side of it is if you feel you found your purpose and you're living through your purpose and you are happy and you're doing that, don't be afraid to step back the moment that there's negativity, kind of negative feedback, because it's not always gonna be perfect, right? Like as a dancer, right? There was a point in time in my like kind of like career where like I slowed down and I wasn't teaching much people anymore, or I was kind of just like there, like I wasn't prospering anymore, right? And so now I'm not having much feedback, from people, or I'm not really having a positive impact on everyone. And I could have, I could just sit there and just say, well, that's just dance, that's business, that's how it works. Or I can sit there and take a step back and realign myself, right? So I would say the second thing is don't be afraid to step back from your purpose and realign yourself with that purpose. Figure out what it is that's kind of getting in the way. And sometimes it may be something you don't want to do. It may be something that's going to take you away from that purpose for longer than you may want to, right? And you may not want to do that, right? Because it's something you love to do. You've been helping people, but now the timing may not be right. So don't be afraid to step back from your purpose. So if you find your purpose, attack it and do good things with it. But if you already found your purpose and then you start to reach a standstill, don't be afraid to step back from that. So I would say those kind of two things is something that I would I think a lot of people could benefit from hearing from that.
Okay, so just go for it. But in the event there is a slowdown or whatever you want to call it, then step back, look within,
right
inside, and just go back and revisit it. All great takeaways. All great takeaways. Yeah, I see on your shirt there you have your dance company, and there's that word on there that you're known for. Can you talk to us about that real quick?
Yeah, no, so yes. So
bring it up a little bit. Bring it up a little bit. There you go.
So this is the studio where I teach at, right? Tumbao Latin dance here in Worcester. I'm in the studio right now. But the idea, the term mambo, again, my stage name we could say is Juan Mambo Lopez, and the term mambo, it comes from obviously way back in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and that came about, like I said, when I started dancing and teaching. I used to change my Facebook. And when we were younger, right, we would change our Facebook, our MySpace names, right, our Facebook names, Twitter names. We're just changing our names all the time, right? And when I started teaching, I kind of like changed it to that, Juan Mambo Lopez, and then that's what people started knowing me as Juan Mambo Lopez. And people wonder about salsa and mambo because they're both like Latin, right? But salsa has always been kind of like more of an umbrella term for a lot of different dances, and mambo is really what it is that we're pretty much dancing and specializing in without knowing, right? So I changed it to Juan Mambo because I wanted people to kind of have have that question, like intentionally, like why Mambo? Like why didn't you say Juan Salsa? You know, and it's because again, Mambo is what it really all comes from. And so when I changed it and I put that into my name, it was kind of like I wanted people to know me as the person that's bringing Mambo to, you know, the state, because they were really talking that way or teaching that style that much and stuff like that. So that's where the whole like Mambo comes from, or at least the implementing Mambo into my name comes from.
that component, right, where it's now a permanent part of your name.
Yeah, it's like a permanent part. Yeah, like I've never changed it after that. Like that's just what it is. It's, you know, people, because my name is really common, right? Juan Lopez is really common. So it's like, you know, if someone asks me about, hey, well, what's your Facebook? Like, can I, you know, find you on Facebook? If I just say Juan Lopez, you're gonna find so many Juan Lopez's, right? So it's like, if I say Juan Mambo Lopez, you break that on Facebook, there's no other. It's gonna be me.
It's one of a kind, one of a kind, one of a
Yeah.
kind.
So,
Yeah. So how can our listeners get in touch with you, Juan?
I mean, they can. I mean, they can get in touch with me, like, you know, like I said, they can get in touch with me through Facebook, through Instagram. It's the same name across the board, right? So on my Facebook is Juan Mambo Lopez. On Instagram, it's Juan Mambo Lopez. On Twitter, it's Juan Mambo Lopez. You know, so you know, if anyone wants to, you know, get in contact with me, you know, whether it's to, you know, dance, if we have, you know, listeners out here, they can contact me through there. If they just want to talk to me more about, like, you know, if, you know, their own purpose for whatever reason, you know, if they feel that impact from, you know, from this conversation and they want to talk to me about it, I'm definitely not one to shy away. You know, I'll talk to you, you know, that, you know, when I was younger, you know, part of one of the things I, you know, thought I was gonna do or end up doing at some point in my life, probably still will at some point, but, you know, is I wanted to kind of have these conversations with people, almost like a therapist. Almost, I kind of wanted to dig into people's brains and help people figure out what it is that they wanted to do, or what it is that they're dealing with, problems. I've always been someone to help with people's problems when I was younger, so I felt like that was something I wanted to end up doing and pursuing. That's why I kind of like, I double majored. I did marketing and I did psychology, and yeah. So, you know, if anyone, you know, wanted to contact me, they can just find me on any of the social media websites as Juan Mambo Lopez, and they could just reach out to me.
And of course, we will include in the caption when we post your video all of your social media handles, so you can get these calls.
No,
Yeah.
for sure.
Are there any closing remarks you'd like to make before we close out?
Not necessarily. I mean, I would just say, you know, if you found your purpose and it's changing people, keep on doing that. Keep on doing it. You know what it is that is, you know, having that positive impact to people, those around you, people around you, you know, things around you. Keep on doing that. And if you haven't found it, you know, and you're lost or you're trying to navigate through, you know, just keep on pushing through, and just know that when you find it, or when you feel that you found it, you're gonna be happy. You're definitely gonna be impacting those around you positively. That's when you're gonna know that it's like, okay, I found it. Now let's change life for the better, right?
So never give up. It's worth pursuing, because once you get there, there's much fulfillment.
Exactly.
Joy. It's awesome. So Mr. Juan Mambo Lopez, and I must include Mambo in there. I want to thank you for joining me today on the A Collision with Purpose project Under the Spotlight. Your insights will undoubtedly add immense value about the conversation and purpose. You know, I am looking forward to having you back here under the spotlight to continue our conversation, as I know that with where you're heading, with your purpose and the work that you're doing, your purpose will only grow and morph into other purposes. So I want to extend an open invitation to have you come back on this program. Do you accept?
Yes, I definitely accept. Yep.
Thank you for that. So folks, this brings us to the end of this edition of the A Collision with Purpose project Under the Spotlight. If you're like some individuals and would like to have a better understanding of your purpose, please submit your short video speaking on the topic of purpose to acollisionwithpurpose@gmail.com. If you would like to participate in an interview, much like this one, then please submit your request to be interviewed to the acollisionwithpurpose@gmail.com. Please note that your video submission will be posted on our social media platforms. That is it for now. Blessings always.